Works Corporation, the procurement of technical support services for PPA systems under BAC PGS 056-2019. Based on the Blue COVID evaluation report and as per instruction of the BAC, the TWG conducted a post-qualification on July 4, 2019 on diversified infrastructure and architectural development works. After verification, it was established that the Diversified Infrastructure and Architectural Development Works Corporation complied with all the legal and financial and other requirements, including certification issued by the Oracle Gold Partnership for the procurement of technical support services for PPAs for application systems. Based on the foregoing result of the post-qualification, the TWG recommends that the bid proposal of Diversified Infrastructure and Architectural Development Works Corporation at its calculated bid price of 12,991,148 and 62 148 pesos and 62 centavos be declared as the single rated and responsive bid pursuant to Rule 10, Section 34 of the 2016 Revised IRR of the Republic Act No. 9184.
That the TWG recommendation as contained in their post-qualification report, stating among others that the bid proposal of Diversified Infrastructure and Architectural Development Works Corporation at its calculated bid price of 12,991,148 pesos and centavos be declared as the singular and responsive bid be adopted.
One motion will be made and seconded. The committee hereby adopts the recommendation of the technical working group declaring the bid proposal of Diversified Infrastructure and Architectural Development Works Corporation with a calculated bid price of 12,991,148 pesos and 62 centavos as the single rated and bid pursuant to Rule 10, Section 34 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA 9184. Let's move to the next item, which is the pre-procurement conference for the procurement of furniture and fixtures for head office. Yes, madam. So let's hear the proposal of the AS.
Good morning. This has previously been presented, but we have made changes to the quantity because we added here the items that we need, furniture and some lighting fixtures for the executive lounge. The main concern of the previous terms of reference was the ABC for the vice chair and and also one lab member asked about the distribution list. Previously, items 1 to 16, number 16 being the wooden partition. Upon checking the wooden partition is a separate project for the entire head office. So, in that budget, all RCs they ask for new partitions. However, for this lot, we have number 16 to 28 with inner POR. Those are the items for the executive lounge. This is the deployment list as the BAC required previously. There was concern about the executive chairs and the mid-back chairs. PD1. You asked for one chair, executive. Mid-back 30.
Attorneys, just like what we did with the personnel complement and everything, have we checked this distribution of the numbers with the RCs?
regulatory, the organ. This is a request sa budget and nag-PR sila. So, ito,
So what,
consolidated.
yeah, so this is already the consolidated one, but do we have to double check this if that's the total number of executive chair that every RC outlined in that proposal?
With this proposal na we prioritize those who submitted the request and budget proposals. Even those who did not submit budget proposals, hindi na dapat sinali, but we accommodated them. If may iba pa na hindi ma-accommodate, then it will be subject to next year's bidding or reorder if may budget pa because limited yung budget for this year.
Attorney Haynes, may napansin lang ako. Tulad din sa executive chair, 2 HRMD, 1 HRMD. Hindi sana
Yeah, sorry, combined.
ano na lang. Tulad lang dito sa backmesh style chair. HRMD naman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 na.
Yes, because layout way. That's why nakaganyan siya. But if you want, I can we will be posting naman for ano for
Sa atin lang.
sa atin internet. Dahil lang sa mga ginawa nilang locking sa office nila, may design kasi silang ginagawa. Yung may backmesh chair, yung normal regular office chair.
Ganito yung likod. Yung
Para GM.
Hindi, ayun yung as ng likod. Ganito.
Wala siya dito.
Wala.
May back na siya. May executive, may but may back is 7-9. Total is 6 or 80. Kaya nabawas ko
Masyado. Mahal ba talaga yung bar stool na yun?
this one, at kating 16 to ano, this was as per yung ginawa ng consultant. Meron silang process doon ng so hindi yung specs nito. Pero yung lang basta silang binigay. Ito, 16 na
Pendant lang. Galing ganito.
yes, up to 28 sessions. Galing yan sa sinamit nila dun sa launch na picture dyan sa may picture may vice chair photo. Bars.
Yung dito sa amin, hindi makita
Sorry, here.
Attorney Haynes, meron ibang sa mga ibang item specifications like yung sa conference table, yung mga dimensions, wala siyang kunyari meter by to, yung length niya. Kasi baka magkaroon naman ng problem sa
Ito pala yung bar stool. So hindi siya mahogany siya, hindi siya yung regular. Based lang naman yan sa Canva nila. Because when we canvas kasi this one, since hindi lahat merong exactly similar item per site, tapos pinapili lang yun yung design namin.
Wait, 4.2, ano, meter ba to? Length, yung length niya.
Okay.
Oo.
Okay.
Tapos, yung
Ayun.
number 3, yung sa number 3, then yung main desk niya, yung 2 meters ba? O yung, ano yung, parang hindi specific yung length niya, yung width niya, yung mga ganyan.
Walang
Kasi
nakalagay
baka
yung
magka-problema na naman tayo dun sa ano, rating.
size of
4. So, 0.7
double check ko na lang na.
Magaling din yung 5.
Yan yung ano, attorney sa yung number 6, yung with single lang, single mechanism with 5 from, ano ba yun? Parang may next na word siya dapat. Diba? Parang may next word siya na nawa. Yan, number 6. Parang may isang word na nawala. I will check.
And then yung ano din niya,
Oo, baka may mentions.
yung dimension ng mga shares, yung dimensions ng shares. Tapos, I remember during yung dun sa kagayan natin, when we say ba na black, when we say
Walang, ano yung, kumbaga parang, yung walang, may konti pa siyang,
Variance or a fixed
Oo.
Hindi,
color.
like, oo, yung parang fix ba na black siya kasi kung mamaya, ibig na naman blue.
questions during sa kagayan.
Okay, noted.
tapos diba, dati, tinanong nila, magkakataw yung sinasabi, heavy duty po ba? Yung ganun. Kasi may mga term sila.
In this case kasi, ang meron lang tayong specific is the chairs. Chairs na kasi yung may regulatory, ano eh.
Kasi yung mga nakamatay, di ba, pag naupo mo, natumbak.
Ito lang chairs, but everything else, as kung ano yung meron dyan, kung pasado sila.
Attorney Hayes, pa-check na lang rin yung mga dimensions ng iba, like yung mga sofa, wala nakalagay.
Dimensions yun.
And
Hindi ka na
also,
mapapagsakan ng lamig. Yun, ano yun, medyo hindi ko, yun eh. Lalagyan sa silya, pagkasya, mahina pa.
another thing yung may cost component kasi remember, there was PVC leather or standard fabric. Kasi when you say leather, that is, yung cost niya would be definitely different from,
Leather,
are we going to leather or standard
leather
fabric?
and leather na leather is
Kasi the range no cost, you say leather, sa standard fabric, kaya masyado yata yung high, low.
ang leather same lang naman dito. Leather,
Kasi pag sabi leather,
leather, t-shirt, yun.
so that
Leatherette and ano, leather, so
would affect the proposal. Yung inisip mo sa high quality, sa standard lang.
we have checked as per leather and ano ma'am, shade naman. Hindi yung real leather. Upholstered din.
Kaya lang, things kasi, yung cost nito sa, i-deliver niya. So, oo. Tapos, mas,
Tayo na lang choose one.
isa lang ako.
That's what about there's or specific.
Oo. Tapos, mag-deliver siya ng na leather, tapos 8 na pagkain, pwede na natin gawin yung kasi core naman yung
Also,
Number 14, si Attorney Hayes, wala siyang specifications na
sorry. Ito yung terms and Yung mga racks, hindi na namin dinamihan kasi na tayo sa warehouse. At yung mga
Pwede kami mag-propose ng price
oras for all, for
Each
each
item.
item. Ano namin siya kung gamit ng ano.
Market na lang siya. Specific sila.
Ano yung ano,
Per item.
kung magpapahingin kayo ng canvas ng bawat supplier in order para mag-gauge na yung price sa market, existing price per item sa market.
Will we, I suggest you just put in a summary at least three sources. Because we don't, not all the time we are because in case of audit, we can justify as given, and the bank can rely on the document that we presented to you.
Pwede ba namin makuha before the bidding ito? Yung document. Para at least meron tayo ng basis in order to compose sa bidding. Ang application siguro. Application na lang. Para at least medyo makita natin kung ano ba talaga yung price niya sa market.
Kasi for example, you have three sources of prices. Parang meron kang low, mid, and high. So from that low, mid, and high, parang yung average, no? That's the a certain average of the low, mid, and high. That's how you come up with the price per item, and then the
In this case, ma'am, hindi lang price reference natin because not all stores have the same offer rate. For example, hindi lahat may ganitong klase ng upuan. We can give you the items that we use to para ano ba yung pinagpilian because apples to apples na pareho silang binibenta. Pumili kami as to ano yung gusto nating design.
In current case, I think Attorney Earl is requesting that, for example, you have 5 sets of specs, for example, for the conference table. Then there are also other stores offering the same. So para lang ano yung pricing ng stores na yun. So meron store A with the same, palagyan na natin ito, or yung specs ng X, Y, na specs, tinanggal ng X, Y brand. So ano yung mga stores na yun, pareho ba yung price na they are offering. So that in a way, talagang ito yung true price that we are working on based on the budget that we are proposing for this procurement. That be possible kasi para lang tayo merong baseline.
For example, ma'am, itong conference table, we got this from a proposal. In comparison, we have items from, for example, we have the same conference table sa mall. Pero it's not exactly the same conference table. Parang more or less, there is comparison, but yung price na is not based on, yung pagpili natin is not because mas mababa siya or what, but we can justify naman, pero not lang it's not the same as how we can readily compare mga common items like ballpen kasi pare-pareho yan throughout it. We can definitely give you the basis, but I just want you to know that yung costing ito is not just based on alin yung pinakamababa. But we definitely have our canvas with the cost, hindi lang yan lahat the same na exactly the same material, exactly the same ano. May comparison for documentation.
Siguro attorney Nancy, i-add na din lang natin yung basis kung bakit nag-come up dun sa ganung item na kailangan. Kung bakit yun yung item na kailangan natin for this procurement.
How will I state it there? It is personal choice of the management. I don't want to put that on the record. I don't want to be too transparent about kasi of course it's not naman talaga na gusto lang na. But we can say that I don't want it inviting na personal choice siya. Sir naman we are to take kung ma-audit kami, bakit yun yung pinili namin. What we can present the back is our canvas and comparison kung how we derive the AC. I think it's also safer the back and we are okay, we open the audit.
Ang basis ko kasi for asking the price research for the canvas itself kasi usually the BIR or the COA uses a margin of 30% for determining undervalued or overvalued items na pinoprocure. So regarding the basis, ang ano lang naman natin is siguro let's just take dun sa technical specifications.
Just we can present naman, I understand that, but I see no problem. They audit me and just the quotation from a store, yan with or without the 30%. Kung dinagdagan ko ng 30, I can tell them. Hindi ko dinagdagan, I can tell them, it's there. I have a document for that.
Ano lang, just pa-certify na lang kung ano yung naging basis for coming up with that.
Yes. We will submit you the summary of our canvas and we will certify that it came coming from the canvassing unit.
So when do we require them to submit? Before the publication?
Before the public.
So we put that on record.
Wala ko talaga picture yung 25 and 26. Items 25 and 26. For rectangular dining table at saka square dining table.
Meron attorney. Baka hindi lang.
Nakikita doon sa photo. Oo, meron siya. Nakikita sa photo sa may nakikita.
Yeah, that is just a photocopy for, but this is the colored.
Tapos yung item number 14, wala siyang specs. 14.
Ayan,
Meron, sige ma. Meron na yung dimension. I-add ko lang. Meron na sa dating PR. Canvas is just so di na tayo magkagulo, as also with the small value procurement, we will just present you the same summary for all items, signed by our procuring officers and noted by me as manager, before it will be posted. Para hindi na pabalik-balik. Mas standardized.
So can we pattern the POR with that of the Cagayan de Oro POR? Kasi parang pareho lang din naman yung ano. Di ba yung sa Cagayan?
Legal
Parang may mga kulang. Hindi naman ito lang lahat ng kasama na yun. I don't know. Might check na lang. Siguro yung mga
Per ano na lang, per item.
May table.
Meron siyang bukod sa meron siyang, ang tawag dito, yung ganyan, lagay mo na rin yung ilan.
Yung kada item naka-table na nga.
Kung na, conference table, 40-seater, tapos ilan
Yeah, I
yung
just
price
checked
na.
it. I did not
Quantity.
Para isang
Parang last time yata meron na din na quantity.
so,
Parang yun sa first stage.
CEO.
Instead na yung ito sa left column, yung
Oo,
number
meron
na
na.
sa item, yung sa right column, lagyan ng quantity. Kung ilang pieces yung required na. Para easy din yung para hindi na tayo babalik-balik kung ilan ba yung required natin na quantity.
It will be in one and
Ayan to, ang mukha din yung nasa una. Yung nalididig quantity sa health check.
summary siya.
Ah.
So, bukuha na lang. I will check the CDO-TOR and the pattern it has been.
Ganyan, yung nasa left, yung number niya, tapos yung quantity dun sa right side. So, per item, diba nandito yung picture, yung
Yes.
picture, yung quantity, ando dun na list.
so any other comments? So, any motion?
I just want to clarify for all, before we start with any, especially public meeting, because of the POR, the price study, price study and breakdown of ABC. Yung canvas na survey pa namin. I think that's all.
I-summarize ko lang ha. So, please include the color, the dimension, the fabric, the canvas that will be provided before the publication, among others.
Noted.
Madam Vice Chair, I move for the approval of the terms of reference as discussed, as presented, subject to the comments and suggestions of the members of the
Second the motion, Ms. Vice Chair.
Upon motion to be made and seconded, the TOR for the procurement of furniture and fixtures for head office is hereby approved, subject to the recommendations and agreements made during this pre-procurement meeting. So the DWG and the Black Secretariat is hereby directed to proceed to the next process, which is the publication of the bid proposal. Let me provide you some Okay, so let's move to the next item, which is the third procurement for the janitorial and other general support personnel for PPA and office, PMOs, Luzon cluster, Visayas cluster, and Mindanao cluster. So may we hear from the end user from the
just like sa HRM, address namin kung ano yung pinagsan nila based din sa kanila kung ano lalo sa PMOs. tuition and transport services already expired on December 16, 2018. October 14 was approved until September 15. The provision of the health support services for head office to showing decisively na wala yung president of the. So nilagay ko ng summary dito nung para sa ABC ng head office, which is 25,722,519 and 32 centavos. For the sub 184,074 pesos and 51 centavos. For Visayas clusters, 36,638,788 and 53 centavos. Ang Mindanao cluster, 38,615,119 pesos and 38 centavos. So, basis yan ipapakita namin. Sa head office.
Bali, isa lang naman yan, sir, Ed, diba? Pare-pareho lang yung
Kasi ano lang, ang magkakaano
for the
kayo
budget
sa
and
just like
distribution.
sa PMOs. So, magkano na tayo dito sa POR.
Okay.
Tapos namin sa POR.
So let's just read per item.
So, yung project execution.
Pareho lang naman siya rin ang nasa SOR.
So, connect POR, the winning. Recapin mo yata kayo. So, kaya namin kung ano yung mga changes so that maano natin makakapa. Ngayon sa head office,
Sir, ano ko lang, sumasimulan ko lang. Sana na i-provide sa amin yung basis, yung number ng mga manpower, tsaka yung basis nung for coming up to the ABC.
copy bang copy namin.
Kasi, siyempre magkakaiba yung rate nila. Then, paano tayo na-sum up dyan? Plus, ito na ba yung, ano ba yung basis? Yung dollar rates ba? O yung, kasi yung sa outsource natin, ginamit na yung sa SSL4 for them. So, ito ba, ano ba ang basis natin dyan?
Yung head office doon, may basis sa SSL ko. Versus translate sa PMOs. Nagsabi sila basis yung isang yung basis na. So, may basis tayo coming from them.
Kung gano'n ang mangyayari, ano ang kaibahan ng mga tao nagtatrabaho dito sa head office at sa kanila, bakit sa kanila dole? Bakit sa atin, purely ito maintenance ito. Kasi kung outsource ito, kasi silver ang ginamit natin, di sana i-include sila doon. Tapos pinagpala ba yung mga head office, yung mga assign sa head office na SSL4 yung basis nila. Tapos sa mga PMO, dole. Samantalang bibig natin ng pareho. So yun ang talagang kailangan namin. Otherwise, we cannot really continue with this. Magiging blunt na ako, pero we cannot really continue. May mga ganun pa tayo, especially the ABC na medyo medyo gray matter pa sa atin.
Sir, ano lang, follow-up question kay Attorney Dano. Malaki ba yung discrepancy using yung regional yung dollar rate than the SSL4 na tranche 1?
Doon mo bago yung depression, ang ano kasi na basis sa meter
ano pong mas malaki? Kasi the same naman po rin ang mga item yun, di ba? Anong mas mataas?
Usually, sir, kasi ang naging problema dito, napansin ko to nung mga the last few years, nagbe-base tayo sa DBM, tulad niya ngayon, SSL4. But kapag ka nagkaroon ng mga issuances ng dole, may mga wage orders, ini-increasean din sila. So talagang kailangan yata it's time na isettle natin ano talaga yung basis natin for that. Kasi na SSL, pero kapag tumaas ang minimum, tataas din sila. Ano talaga yung basis natin, di ba? For this. Tapos, iisang procurement tayo, head office, tapos kasama yung mga clusters, PMOs, tapos sila, i-base na ulit, tapos sa ating SSL. Kaya nga, different kung i-base natin sa SSL4, dapat sinama na lang dun sa isa kasi makakonsider na sila outsource. Di ba?
Yung sa ano natin, yung sa HR natin, all throughout, we're using the SSL for tranche 1. So I'm just wondering, why, ito ba yung practice before with regard to janitorial when it's not yet centralized to head office?
Kasi yung hindi na namin kasi kasi dyan ko kasi hindi pa nandiyan yung makabagal sa akin.
Pero yung sa akin,
Sa minimum wage, hindi first time na namin so siguro, namin sa isa, paano ba yung standard natin SSL ko, para sa lahat.
ngayon, yung existing janitorial that we have right now, what we are practicing, ISSL, office. What about in other regions, in Luzon, besides Mindanao? Yung present, the same SSL. So if we are using the same, then why do we have to change it to Dole?
Wala akong idea yung dati kasi hindi na unahan pa sa akin. So, by PMOs yung
So I think this is very crucial because we are talking now the approval for the contract. So the first thing that we have to do first is check what is the prevailing now that we are, what we are using at the moment at head office in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And then from there, let's decide on this next TOR that we are imposing, what do we need to implement. If we will find it after HR personnel requirement, also personnel requirement, then we have to have uniform requirement for all. So kasi if we have this prevailing head office janitorial services using the SSL, then all throughout we have to do that.
So, started na natin yung mga sa head office, same na sa
May I ask the committee members of the back, with regard to this, are we going to continue with the other items or we will just have to wait for the final basis of the ABC? So, ganito na lang Ed kasi we have to be naka-anchor kasi sa budget natin yan. So, first things first, let's find out what rate do we have to use, SSL or yes, the Dole. Okay. So, check muna natin ngayon yung prevailing and then decide on what should be for the next TOR.
Tapos yung mga ito, ang nangyayari kasi talaga, kapag SSL ko ng ginagamit na basis, pero pagka tumaas ang magkagaga ng mga wage orders, pinataas din sila.
Paano pa tayo sa practice natin, SSL, sir, ano bang SSL na ngayon?
One.
Yung sa ngayon na po, SSL,
Yung ngayon na hindi alam. Kasi dati pa, paano 20, ano pa yun kasi,
pag-wage order, anong ginagawa natin?
ina-adjust.
Na-adjust.
Yung mga tatamaan na positions. Kunwari, yung bawa, yung mga plumber. Kunwari, gano'n, plumber. Tapos, mababa ibang positions, hindi yun tataas. Yung sa tinamaan
Sa
lang.
minimum na.
Yung mga na-apektuhan ng pagtaas ng minimum, na-apply yun.
Ganun na lang, Ed, let's review because whatever will be the decision on that matter all throughout may affect yun dun sa per position that each and every cluster will propose again. Kasi they have to be informed. Baka kasi they are not aware of what particular rate the head office is making so that all other classes will follow.
Yung ano mga bigyan mo sa based on budget, ano na siya, pero admissions, ano na sa the wage mo, and sinentralize natin.
Pero feeling ko hindi na nakikita kasi why do they have to propose for that sa akin lang dapat isa na lang kung ano sa HR yun din sa akin. Another retro for this matter until such time that you come up with a final decision on what they like. So any other comments? So motion, please.
Comment lang, basta huwag lang masyadong pagdali. Otherwise, ano sila, mawawalan sila ng may gap sila, mag-gap. Kasi we can no longer extend. Wala nang hold over kasi mag-1 year na yung hold over natin. Oo, hindi, ang problema nga, wala talaga. We can, dahil hindi sila makakapagdalo na dahil wala na silang kontrata.
Saka sir, siguro kailangan natin yung numbers ng kunwari, dito, 219 yung sa Luzon cluster. Ilan yung para sa ganitong PMO? Ano mga position ba yun? Kailangan namin yung yung annex A ba yun?
Oo, wala ito.
Feeling ko meron
In the actually, wala yung attached.
Plus yung sa
Kung wala natanggap to, wala rin naman yung attached. Pangalawa natanggap natin, wala.
pero yung
para ma-end up ang final pattern. So the more na you complete all the requirements, then we will be able to fast track the
Vice Chair, I move that procurement conference for the janitorial and hydrogen support person for prevailing office work management. For design clusters, resolve precisely in the now. The held avails until all the requirements are provided.
One motion will be made and seconded. We will have another procurement for the janitorial and other general support personnel for PTA and office and Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao clusters based on the recommendations and agreements made during this meeting. Thank you. We'll wait for the next repro as soon as possible. Any other agenda matters? Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Kunti na lang naman, di ba, yung ibang items.
hindi pa nila nangyari. Kasi itong daming mga state.
So yan na lang din ang gagawin ninyo.
Kung mga ito, kasi wala naman silang system ngayon ng mga na hindi talaga sila yan. Kung nasa kasi siguro, kasi wala okay na po security guard kasi nandiyan na yung may mga pero kung security screen
First time yan,
wala pa talaga na mga tao sila yan. Kaya siguro ang yan ano nila na matamo sila ng hotel. Doon na natin yung qualification mo.
Wala naman tayong po nito sa head office, ano?
Ano?
Wala tayo sa head office nito screeners, ano?
Wala ma'am. Ano lang pinano namin guardia na lang muna.
Luzon, Visayas, Northern, Southern, Baliapan.
Oo. Pero itong sa guardia, yun na lang muna ang iyan mo namin ma'am. Nalimutan kasi pag hindi na nakita mo lang. Pwede naman natin yung guardia kung saan na waiting square mo sa.
Sila lang muna.
Yes ma'am. Oo.
Para lang sa head office.
Yes ma'am. Oo.
Okay, wala na silang PWG, wala na
Oo.
Wala daw eh, meron silang ano. Ano sir, mag-uuwian na ba yung mga ano? Yung flight daw po kasi parang
Ay oo, nagano yung sa yung mga
seminar kasi sila yata. Nakakuha na sila ng ticket pa.
Oo, nakakuha na, ma'am.
Kaya hindi na
Oo.
sila maka-stay.
oo, hindi sinabihan ko na ano, sabi nila nag-book na yung ano nila, yung ticket nila. Hindi na.
Okay, good morning again.
Morning ma'am.
We have HO Bank PGCS for security, number 004-2019. So, Attorney Solo, have quorum.
We still have a quorum, Madam Chair, with the attendance of the acting chairperson, Attorney Ita Naharamilio, and Jan Portugal, regular members, and Superintendent Froilan Nacola, portion of
Okay, thank you. So, we have one item, which is the pre-procurement conference for the procurement of security screening machine operators or PPA, port security clusters of Luzon, Visayas, Northern Mindanao, and Southern Mindanao. So, sir, can we hear the... So, isa-isa na lang tayo, sir, yung mga, ano na lang, ano, yung highlights ng may mga suggestions and recommendations kami before? Or do we have to start with each and every item?
Okay, siguro may palitan na siguro kung
Sige, sir, basta kung ano...
Oo.
Ito yung sa ano niya. Ito ang basis dito, SSL din, di ba?
Parang tinig yata nung sinabi. Or 9.
Buti attorney hindi pa naman meron silang ibang basis sa dyan.
Hindi kasi, ayun sabihin ko, sa akin kasi yung basis parang SSL 3.
Yung old pa.
Oo, yung old pa na ano.
Meron pang old eh.
Hindi man lang nilagay ng
Hindi, basta yung mas una, kasi ngayon 4, meron
Hindi pa nga tayo
Hindi
mga
hindi
old
po
eh.
pa
Mga
nakita
taon
ko. Oo.
Hindi sabihin all old sa sa SSL. Iba kasi hindi pa sila
Totally.
propose na.
Pero kasi ang ano ko lang ngayon, ma'am, bakit pa kasi pinagpalit pa? Ibig sabihin, ito lang naman head office, sila ang magtatanong doon, ito yung ilan yung ano naman, they are more responsible. Hindi ko kailangan namin. Ganun ba yun?
Hindi ka na. Kawawa talaga yun. Estudyante lang sila.
Yung makilig yan. Oo, yung palihan.
Wala, kasama nila. Ano nga, pwede mag-iyon na.
Hindi pwede
Control lang.
tapos
Ah,
Pero iba ito.
the same thing.
doon,
Dating niya, ni Chairman. Sir, sige po.
okay,
Side
ma'am,
side
good
lang
morning
po.
everyone. So, ano ko na lang siguro, ma'am, bali, sa ano,
Sa
sa
item
extra naman.
namin, sir, again, if we have some comments, we will call your attention. Aside
Sige, ma'am, sige. Sige.
Para hindi nyo na
Ah.
Yan ba babasahin, hindi itong paper?
Yun ulit, pareho lang siya.
Hindi, kasi yung paper babasahin ko lang loud. Pero
Oh.
kung tayo babasahin.
Okay, ito na lang siguro, ano, ma'am.
Wala ko naman
Ano, ma'am, sa basahin ko na, ano ko na lang siguro. Mag-ano lang kayo kung may mga comments,
Sige,
ma'am.
sir.
Okay, good morning everyone. So, terms of reference, procurement of security screening machine operators for Philippine Ports Authority for Security Cluster of Luzon, Visayas, North Mindanao, and Southern Mindanao comprising of different port management offices and terminal management offices, ports under the respective jurisdictions. Objectives, consistent with principles of transparency, competitiveness, streamlining and use of technology in procurement, accountability, and public monitoring under Republic Act 9184 and its revised implementing rules and regulations. These terms of reference shall inform and guide traders interested in the public and competitive bidding for the contract for security screening operators of different port management offices of the Philippine Ports Authority for a period of 1 year. ABC, the full budget for the contract is in the amount of 300,902,780 pesos only for the deployment of 294 security screening machine operators. So the agreement shall be effective for a period of 12 months and shall take effect on the date to be indicated in the contract.
Sir, excuse po. Inano doon sa task, sir, for a period of 1 year sa 1.1. But I think, sir, dun sa after ng sa 1.2, 12 months. So, siguro, sir, 1 year to 1 year, 12 months to 12 months.
Yun, parang...
Yes, sir, dito.
Oo.
The agreement should be
Oo.
effective for a period.
So parang ano, no? Parang...
1 year, para consistent na lang.
Oo.
1 year or 12 months.
Oo.
Tapos, 1 year na lang po ito.
Sige, yan, ito na, no?
1 year. Yun, sir. Year.
1 year and shall take effect on the date to be indicated in the contract. So the contract subject of the desired competitive public bidding and the Public Act 9184 and its revised implementing rules and regulations, specifically for the deployment of security screening machine operators at the PPA, port management offices, terminal management offices, ports located within the port security cluster of Luzon, Visayas, Northern Mindanao, and Southern Mindanao.
Okay, sir. Kung na-double check nila yung...
Yes, ma'am.
So, 100.
With a total of 294 screening machine operators. So, description of services, security service provider through a 1-year contract for the purpose of of baggage and body and port users screening system in ports in your merited about where such security screening machines and or about to be installed. So, for the minimum track record, consider operations, management conditions, procedures of the a security service provider has completed within the last 5 years of submission set of bids, a single contract that is similar to the contract to be bid. A similar contract must be provisions of security service contract, the value of which must be at least 50% of the above approved budget for the contract for the first year of the contract. Obligations and responsibilities for the service provider, deployment of security screens in operators as required and who are compliant with the PPA qualification standard as enumerated in Annex A thereof. Provide and make strengths in the part of PPA allocations for security training program for security training machine operators deployed under the contract within 3 months, specifically on the following: security trainers course to be conducted by the Office for Transportation Security or its accredited institution, bomb identifications and other delivery conditions similar, Office for Transportation Security accredited security awareness seminar for personnel with security responsibilities. Comply with labor laws, standards, social distancing, people, service operators, and toll Department Order Number 1516, Series of 1916, the implementation of contract and whole PPA free and harmless from any liability arising from the claims by the security screening operators against the service provider. Submit to the PPA detailed reports on undertaking and unusual incidents and such other reports in accordance with the form and frequency prescribed by PPA. Make available at any reasonable time all documents related to the contract for inspection, examination, audit by PPA. Assume liability for any or all losses and damages for destructions to property or death injuries sustained by the PPA, its employees, and passengers are directly attributable to the negligence, fault, laxity, and lawful act of misconduct of the service provider or any of its officers or security training machine operators. Increase displace such number of operators after due notice from the PPA. Comply with all other applicable laws, ordinances, terms and conditions of the contract and applicable rules and regulations promulgated by the PPA. Pay taxes on full and on time, and that the failure to do so will entitle the PPA to suspend payment for any services rendered by the service provider. Comply with all the provisions of the contract and contract documents, non-compliance with or violations of any of its obligations and responsibilities shall be a ground for rescission, cancellation, or termination of the contract after due notice. Post the required personal security in sufficient amount for the durations of the contract and in the form of the cash, money receipts of a bond secured from reputable insurance company duly accredited by the appropriate government agency to a warranty for performance and compliance with every stipulations, terms and conditions of the contract. Provide insurance coverage or pay for life insurance premium for its operators.
Sir, excuse lang po, bago tayo medyo malayo. Sir, balik po tayo sa description of services. Page 5, sir, number 8, is 3.1. The Philippine Ports Authority desires to engage the services of a security service provider. A 1-year contract for the purpose of the implementation, package, and body, and port user screening system. Para kung may mga kulang na words doon.
Dito mo sa
Yan po, 3.1 po.
the Philippine desires to engage the services of security service provider through a 1-year contract for the purpose of the implementations, baggage and body.
For the purpose of deploying operators of
Baggage and
kasi po kailangan nakabasa ng mga ang tawag natin operators, di po ba?
We are trying to engage services of security providers through a 1-year contract for the purpose of deployment for implementation.
Deployment of operators, yung kaya po yun, operators for
Anong kulang nga eh?
For the purpose for the
Kulang niya. 1-year contract for the purpose of the implementation of kasi system
Yes,
siya
oh.
eh. Tama ba? For the purpose of
Oh.
the implementation
Oh.
of baggage,
of
baggage,
and
body, ano bang system? Anong tawag sa isang system na
Baggage and body.
for the purpose of the implementation of block system.
Process screening system.
Yeah, siguro.
Oh,
Ano na po
ito.
sa
For the purpose of implementation of baggage and body and process screening. Ano siguro to?
Oo.
Ba, tama na siguro.
Yung ano, what kind of system is that? Where such security machines have been installed.
Implementation of baggage and body. Siguro wala na pong end-port users.
Oo.
Of implementation of baggage and body screening system.
Tama.
O lang po, ano lang.
Ano lang ano ito? Implementation of baggage and body.
Of baggage
And
and body screening system.
Age and body. Wala na yung end-port users. Wala na po yun.
Kasi meron pala ditong where such
Oo,
security
where
Yeah.
such
machine.
Yeah.
machines have been
Then baggage and body screening system reports numeric or such security machines have been. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Ayun.
Tapos po, sa minimum track record, sir,
Yan po. Yung 4.1. Yung pong next page, sir. Yung unang-una. Yan po. At least 50% of the approved budget for the contract ABC. Hanggang dun lang, sir. Kasi for the first year of the contract.
Kasi 1 year
Opo,
lang.
kasi 1 year lang tayo. Po yung For the first year of the contract. Hanggang dun lang sila sa ABC.
a similar contract must be with provision of security service. Hindi contract.
Anong pa niya, ma'am?
Sa minimum track record pa din, sir. 4.1 pa din.
Parang dinidefine niya kasi
A
ang requirement
similar
natin.
contract
Must be a provision of
Hindi ko kasi yung word eh. So parang mali yung contract na word.
Considering its basic roles in the operations management and
kasi di ba
administration
yung
of record.
requirement natin
Applications,
is
applications,
similar
A similar contract is similar to the contract to be bid.
Oo. A similar contract
to be bid.
must be a provision, must be a similar contract must be for the provision of security for the service contract.
Pero bakit contract pa din? Must be for the provision of. Bakit security service contract pa din? Provision of, hindi ba security guards? Security personnel? O ito,
Similar contract must be a provision of security.
Ano
Operators ang
ginagamit.
Operators.
O di dapat operators.
Considering.
A similar contract must be a provision of operators o kaya security screening machine operators.
O siguro, a similar contract refers to a provision of service security service contract. Siguro yun. Yun.
Kasi ang ano po ba yung basis nito? Yung the contract itself na nag-provide sila ng ano?
50%?
O yung tao mismo?
Nagpo-provide sila ng ganung tao.
Tao.
Parang ganun.
Ano track record meron
O,
dapat?
kasi ito yung sa experience eh.
Ay, yung sa experience,
Ito eh.
ito ang instead na ano kasi ito, yung sa itong sa experience si Bira, itong ano, ngayon na tayo nagkakaroon ano, ng
Ano
kaya kung
dapat na ano natin? Parang you are ano ba yung similar contract that is similar to the contract to be bid.
Oo, ngayon na yun.
So yun yun. Ngayon, i-define niya ano yung similar contract.
To be bid.
Kasi inilagay natin yan sa bid eh.
Oo nga.
A similar contract refers to o a similar contract must be for the provision of
Ano ba
security.
ibig niya sabihin dito? Must be at least 50% of the ABC.
that's in the
Kasi kung contract, yung value ng contract must be at least 50%.
Kung sa GCU kasi ang ibig sabihin niya, 50% na nakagawa na siya ng the same.
Yes.
Same,
Pero
same,
yes,
oh.
the contract
Kaya
na po.
dredging.
Oo.
50% din dredging.
Trading.
Ito naman,
Hindi
nag-hire
natin
ka
alam
ng
kung
provider of security officer. So contract pa rin na in other provided. Di ba dapat yan?
Yun, parang meron silang, nagkaroon
Oo,
sila ng
ang tanong
contract
lang
with the
is,
other.
are we zeroing in doon sa screening machine operators? Kasi ang nakalagay sa atin, security service provider. So, yun na mababalik natin
Oo,
yung line,
oo,
sir,
oo,
na
oo.
yung bang similar contract na hinahanap natin na 50% is purely for screening machine operator or as a whole a security service provider.
As a whole, ma'am, as a whole. Oo.
Para hindi limited.
Para hindi
Baka walang
limited. So,
pag-
yun lang,
po,
sir.
Oo, oo,
Kasi
oo.
pag sinabi niyo na,
Oo.
Oo. So ano magandang ano rito, ma'am, yung sa
Oo.
ano mo magandang
Diba?
kasi.
Considering space growth, between desires a security service provider who has completed, kasi yun na yun eh, 5 years from the date of submission and receipt of fees, a single contract will be similar to the contract to be bid. A similar contract to be bid, di ba dapat gano'n?
single contract kasi kung
As referred to what?
Contract din. Ang dapat security service contract o nagpo-provide sila ng dapat ng ganitong tao. Ano na
Single
kayo?
contract must be for
Sinabi
bid.
natin yung for provider, masyado kang maliliit.
Oo. So,
Ito
paano kung
oo,
itong mga
contract na
to,
lang.
hindi pa sila, konti pa lang yung nagpo-provide.
So, ang inaano ko, yung
Tama
contract.
ko. A similar
Oo,
contract must
similar
be
contract.
Eh,
for the
dapat,
provision.
ano ni Chair, kasi di ba ang gusto ni Chair parang more on civil na daw yun.
Kasi nung pumunta siya dito, yung gusto niya combine. Tapos pinaro. So, desisyon naman natin.
A similar contract must be for the provision of yung security service contract na nga the value of which must be at least 50%.
Sige, ganun na lang.
Okay na nga, para broad siya, security service, hindi mo lang inilimit
Kumbaga,
sa security
guards
service.
pa rin ang i-deploy niya.
As a security,
Sa
ano,
security siya, pero meron ka naman dito kasi provision doon sa Annex A.
Yung standard
na
ng ano niya.
standard qualifications.
Oo, ng mga tao.
So that would parang ano yan? Limit yung description mo, di ba? Yung contract mo general, however, the post qualification of the qualifications. Yan na lang. Ano siya, attorney? Sige, ano yun natin?
yun lang, a similar contract must be lalagyan na lang natin for the provision of security service.
Okay.
Yun
Must
na rin.
be, ano ma'am yung isisingit after must be? Must be.
For the provision.
Must be for the. Sir, pasingit na lang po yung for the. Must be for the provision of security service contract.
Any yun, broad, kumbaga, basta
Oo.
security
The value
service.
of which must be at least 50% of that. Ganito lang sa hotel.
Ito okay na. Sa hanggang
Okay na po
Okay
yan
na.
po.
Sige.
Hanggang ABC.
Okay. Teka lang sir, nagkasundo na ba tayo? Kailan nga natin iaano yung qualification? Sa POSCO na lang?
Opo.
POSCO na.
sa posko na lang, ma'am. Oo.
Sige, okay.
Mm.
Sir, continue.
Tapos sir, ano na ba na pag-usapan natin dito? Magpo-provide pa din sila ng mga curriculum bigay ng mga tao?
Yun.
Doon sa bid nila?
Ano ma'am yan?
Magbibigay pa sila ng curriculum vitae ng mga tao na ano lang, hindi na.
Ay, hindi na, sa posko na lang, ma'am. Kasi nakita ko rin yung ano, ito lalo na itong, unlike sa itong mga security guards, may existing na sila ng mga tao. May mga, for example, even itong sa, kung may yung DP kasi itong mga, like kung sa itong lakid na ano na yung curriculum vitae ng ano dyan. Itong sa, ano natin, itong sa,
Screener
ano wala pa,
pa lang
sila.
first time pa lang, parang ano pa lang nila, i-employ pa nila, o parang i-hire pa nila yung ano. Doon na natin i-determine yung pag ano na ng deployment na ng mga tao, doon na natin ma-screen yung ano sa requirements, kung anong requirements na ano. Sa ngayon, yung listing, hindi rin tayo magkaano ng listing ng ano ng mga tao nila kasi considering na wala pang mga ano sila, wala pang tao.
Baka yung guards nila, kakain pa lang din nila para makita.
Yes, ma'am. Oo.
Sige sir.
Tuloy na.
Kasi na tayo sir sa insurance. Sir, yun doon sa insurance, provide insurance coverage or pay for life insurance premium for its operators. Ilalagay pa ba natin, sir?
Sa-
Vice
sa-
Chair, kung
Sa
at
mga
no
kung
cost to
translated na
PPA.
lang natin. Oh.
Ano ba yan, sir? Dapat ba ilalagay natin at no cost to PPA? Parang,
Ay, yes ma'am, pwede rin. Oh, mas siguro.
wag
Kasi
na natin
talagang
ilagay na
Kasi the
ganyan.
service provider ang vital.
sila talagang magano yan. Pwede naman natin i-ano rin, hindi na natin ilagay rito. Kung
Kasi nasa service provider tayo.
Oo.
So the service provider
siya magano.
provide insurance coverage for it.
Sa bagay, pay for life insurance. So, kahit na at no cost, ay hindi mo lagay, ibig sabihin kanina yun.
Oo.
Kasi baka mamaya, yung pay ko ayaw pa
Sige, sabi ano,
Anong item na nga yan?
Ma'am L,
under ng 5,
page
Provide
7.
insurance coverage or pay for life insurance premium for each operators. Ang cost to PPA. Ano? Pero di ba SOP?
oo nga, kasi nga under naman
Sa
siya
under
ng
naman
service
mga ano.
provider siya.
Oo nga eh. So okay sa akin, okay lang siya na nandyan siya.
Nandyan lang.
Oo, para,
At least
kasi di ba,
protected din yung ano yung ano nila mo. Oh.
Sige sir.
The PPA na. Saan ka na?
So the PPA shall award the contract for the provision of security screening machine operators in the areas specified and approved for a period of 1 year to the lowest affiliated responsive bidder after the competitive public bidding under Republic Act 9184 and its IRR. Ensure the availability of funds for security services rendered under the contract, exercise functional and operational supervisions to the corporations over the security screening machine operators deployed under the contract proper implementation. Provide coordinations with the service provider, customer relations seminar, ISPS code, awareness training, port orientation briefings, and other pertinent port security training updates to the security screening machine operators under the contract. Exercise territorial power or conduct inspection or audit of the service providers, compliance with existing social legislations or provisions of the contract relating to the welfare of security screening machine operators deployed under the contract.
Sir, sandali. Miss Vice Chair, doon sa letter B, 5.2, provide in coordination with the service provider, ito yung mga trainings. Hindi ba ito may problema, PPA?
Provide in coordination.
Yung
with the
gastos niya, hindi ba ito covable matter or something?
Sir, paano training, ano ba to? Is it a formal?
Kasi ang PPA ito eh, PPA siya eh. Tapos ang first word niya, provide. Hindi require,
Kasi
hindi,
dahil wala tayong employee-employee relationship.
oo,
Parang
para
ano-
maging ano sa atin. Di ba, PPA siya require, parang ganito yung mga ganitong trainings na ma-provide sa mga gano'n. Baka sa atin ito babalik.
Dapat hindi siya provide.
Na parang bakit
Kasi parang
gagastos sa ano eh.
responsibility ng
Okay,
PPA.
sabagay hindi na natin na ano kasi minsan talagang nag-ano naman sa mga like for example sa mga gwardiya.
Oh, sir.
Yung may mga ano naman doon na naka ano rin sa itong security relation, itong customer relations na
Yan naman sila.
oh, pwede naman hindi natin ito ano ma'am lagay para baka mamaya ihanapan sa atin eh.
Ano na lang siguro?
Oh, total may sa internal ano talaga, nag-provide naman tayo na mga ganitong training.
Yeah,
Hindi lang natin ilagay sa mamaya baka ihanapin sa atin parang mag ano sila na
that
na-
we are providing them the
Ibang
training.
tradition naman yata sir eh.
Pwede naman ma'am.
Gawin na lang natin.
Pwede na natin
Gawin na
ano.
lang, sir.
Sige ma'am. Sige, thank you.
But just the same, you have to orient them with the ISPS and everything.
Yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
Okay.
Siguro sir, pwede natin idagdag sa obligation and responsibilities or din ganito with ano ganyan. No? Kaya provide its operators with ganitong training. Doon siya sa service provider. Idagdag siya doon sa mga ganong trainings.
Dito sa 5.
Oh, kaya lang, attorney, pag doon mo siya mandatory nga na ipoprovide
Oo,
yung
yun,
service
oo.
provider. That is
Mm.
additional cost again on the
Mm.
part of the service provider.
So, alisin na lang.
Oo, tanggalin
na lang.
Sige ma'am, ayan natin sige.
Bahala na si Port Police.
Sige ma'am,
Yan. So, exercise.
Exercise visitorial power.
So rights service providers shall of financial collecting space and charges for services rendered as incurred and validated and approved by the PPA, which shall be issued with official receipts by
Sir,
the
if I may lang,
Yes,
yung,
ma'am.
yung kanina lang na training, siguro doon mo na lang, sir, ipapasok siya sa yung obligation ng service provider that they have to provide na training program within 3 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Meron ka dun sa item 1, security screener officer course conducted by OTS. Eh, yung OTS naman na nagpo-provide itong mga ISPS, mga ganyan. So, doon na lang, sir, ipasok ha, yung doon sa OTS requirement.
Itong sana, ma'am.
Yung inilink natin, di ba, nag-delete tayo,
Yes, ma'am.
na tayo dapat ang magpo-provide.
Mm-hmm.
Ito na lang natin siya ipasok doon sa nire-require nyo na they should have a certificate, parang ganon. Provide, that itong yung obligation ng contractor, 5.1, letter B.
Provide at no expense.
Diba yan? Diba sa service provider yan?
Yes, ma'am.
Meron kang item 1, security screener officer course from ODS.
Yes.
O yun na yun eh, ISPS, diba? Doon na yun, sir, papasok.
Oh, ito lang yung pwede naman may ano natin.
Oo, doon na rin siya ipasok yung mga ISPS.
So,
customer.
pa siya, spell out pa siya doon.
Hindi naman,
Hindi
hindi
na.
naman.
So,
Internal na lang.
So, yun na lang.
Oo. Internal na lang.
Okay na yun,
Ah.
as is.
Diba? Ganun yun.
Ano siguro, ma'am? Pwede na siguro, hindi na natin yan kasi ito more on ano kasi ito parang specialization o specialization kasi ito. Itong sa ano naman natin yung sa pwede naman natin yung sana more on orientation naman na ano. Pwede na siguro natin hindi na lang ilagay.
Okay.
Oo.
Okay. Sir.
6 na.
Right?
Colleagues expense and charges for services rendered as concurred, validated and approved by the PPA, which shall be issued with official receipts by the service provider. It shall be payable every 15th and the last working day of the month following submission by the service provider of the statement of the accounts and other supporting documents. Compare or meet with the authorized representatives of PPA on issues of concern pertaining to proper implementations of the contract concerning a particular situations in a particular port. The PPA shall, for financial, require the service provider to submit supporting documents as basis for payment of services rendered by security screening machine operators and to issue appropriate official receipts to PPA.
Sir, excuse po.
Ah.
6.2.1, sir, financial. Sir, siguro hanggang doon lang po tayo sa machine operators. Kasi PPA yan eh. PPA shall require the service provider to submit supporting documents as basis for payment of services rendered by the security screening machine operators. Hanggang doon lang, sir. Kasi si PPA siya eh. Hindi siya mag-i-issue ng official receipts as RLE.
Tama.
Hanggang doon lang, sir. Operators.
Operational services, supervised services rendered by and control the conduct of security screening machine operators deployed under the contract with a view of ensuring their maximum efficiency in port operations and management. Administrative, terminate, and or cancel the contract as may be provided for therein.
Sir, second lang po.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Vice Chair, doon sa 6.2.2 operational, supervise the services rendered by and control the conduct of security screening machine operators. Kasi yung control the conduct, baka pumasok tayo, baka mag-violate ko dun sa ano eh.
PPA siya.
Baka yung pwede nating i-ano yung words.
PPA siya.
PPA ito eh. Supervise the services rendered.
Operational. Ano meaning ng operational?
And control the conduct of
Sa operation siguro. O bakit ganun?
Yung ano siguro, ang
Financial,
Kasi ang lahat eh, sa financial, sa operation, eh, hindi siya magiging walang rating. So, kailangan ng
financial, operational, na po yun.
o operation, yan gusto nyo.
Supervise the services rendered ba?
Kasi yung control the conduct, baka mag-violate tayo dun sa no employer-employee relationship. Eh. Kasi di ba pag nagko-control ka na ng conduct ng employees, di ba ano na yun, acts of the employer kasi yun.
Ang ano kasi natin diyan more on
Yung regarding
yung sa parang
function
operation
lang niya,
nila,
sir.
yung function nila,
function
yung hindi
niya.
natin sarili yung ano,
Oo.
kasi yung nakita natin yung pag ano ng proper na ano na.
Hindi kasi control the conduct eh.
Ano bang-
Security.
ano bang maganda
Hindi
mas
naman
ano?
yun. Basta kailangan yung words lang.
Yung word na ano,
Supervise the
ah,
services that supervise.
Oo.
And di ba pwedeng monitor the conduct of security street?
Pwedeng monitor
Monitor
kasi
na lang.
yung kukontrolin iba eh.
Oo.
May acts of ano dun eh.
Sir, pwede, okay lang monitor na lang.
kasi itong monitor more on parang ito kasi parang itong ano parang iano mo yung lawin yung proper pag ano ng
Monitor lang siguro.
Oh,
sir.
monitor.
Kasi pag control parang
Oh, ano?
masyadong mabigat. Di ba pwede sir monitor? Instead
Monitor,
sir na control.
guide,
Monitor
ano?
the conduct. Instead sir na control. Baka pwedeng monitor lang.
ano diyan sa ano no?
Yan.
Supervise the services rendered by.
And monitor.
Parang guide, monitor tapos guide natin.
Parang ganun lang
yung,
sir.
Ano
Oo.
kasi ni sir, parang tayo pa rin dapat
yung
Kasi atin yung
oo,
machine.
oo.
O kaya na
Kasi kung
pagka-
monitor, parang wala tayong monitor, parang may ano talaga tayo na yung parang may concrete na ano natin kung yung proper talaga may issue yung proper ano nila pag-operate.
Kasi sir, dun sa mga labor.
Pwede siguro guide ano ba yung ito kasi parang
Pwedeng guide
guide siguro
siguro, sir, ganun.
yung parang
Guide, or guide ganyan in
Oo.
in relation dun sa
yung sanitation.
operation ng machine.
Oo.
Pero kasi yung the word control kasi marami ng mga
Ah.
labor issues
Sige,
na
pwede naman natin mamaya.
baka medyo pumasok dun
Oo.
sa violation ng no employer employee.
Pwede siguro ma'am, i-ano natin monitor and guide. Yung,
Sige, sir.
parang may
Monitor and guide the conduct of.
oo.
Tapos sir, dun sa terminate, hindi talagang ever since, di ba, hindi naman talaga ako comfortable dun sa terminate or cancel the contract.
Ayos. Anong maganda natin ma'am na term?
Ay, hindi na lang sir, kung sa akin pwede nang i-delete kasi di ba talaga naman pag nag-violate sila ng contract, doon naman din mauuwi.
So the PPA shall conduct audit na lang in compliance with the terms.
Ayun ma'am, okay ba sa inyo na kailangan nandun kayo terminate or cancel the contract?
As may be provided for.
Parang, shall pa naman, the PPA shall terminate or cancel the contract. Parang,
As may be provided for. Hindi tanggalin na lang yung kasi magkakanta ka naman ng audit. Ano ba ang next one? If I may. Ito na lang, conduct audit in compliance with.
opo.
Ano kasi nasa contract?
Siyempre, pag may mga validation naman talaga, kahit sa mga terminal provisions, talaga naman pinaka-cancel.
So sir, yun na lang letter B daw ang ano.
Ah,
delete na
tanggalin
lang.
natin ma'am. Sige ma'am.
Delete na sir yung.
Sige.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
Other conditions of the contract, fitness for work, the service provider shall ensure the physical and psychological fitness of the security screening machine operators to be deployed at the passenger terminal building and operational areas of above-mentioned responsibility centers. It shall provide the PPA with the medical examinations and drug test results covering the subject personnel. And then adherence to PPA rules and regulations. The service provider shall require all employees assigned to the PPA to observe all rules and regulations of PPA. Identifications, each personnel shall wear an identification card in the design agreed upon by the parties. The employed personnel shall wear the uniform prescribed and agreed upon by the parties. All costs of IDs and uniforms shall be for the account of the service provider. Issuance of the film badge disseminated. The service providers, in coordination with the Philippine Drug Research Institute or any or any concerned government agencies shall issue every security screening machine operator with 2-term bans to semi-ter per month folios during their operations to monitor cumulative radiations due to ionizing radiations. Service complaints upon loss of trust and confidence and without liability, PPA shall have the right to request to change or replace the operators concerned within 24 hours from receipt of the corresponding written notice. Further, that in no case shall the operators shall be replaced or relieved without prior written notice to and written concurrence from PPA. Deployment of a supervisor. The service provider shall assign a supervisor coordinator not part of the deployment who will regularly conduct inspection within the cluster premises to ensure that the services required are implemented in coordination with the Port Police Division's Terminal Management Office. Continuity. The service provider shall ensure continuous and uninterrupted rendition of the services under the contract. In the event of absence of any its operator deployed within the security cluster to pay, the service provider shall assign an alternate of such absent operators. Mandatory contributions. The service provider shall register its personnel with the Social Security System, Home Development Mutual Fund, and the Philippine Health Insurance Corporations. It shall regularly remit payment of the mandatory contributions to these entities. No employer-employee relationship. Nothing herein shall be construed to create an employer-employee relationship between the parties. The service provider is an independent contractor, thus all human resource concern of the deployed personnel shall be addressed to it. Accident, death, injury. The PPA shall not be responsible for any liabilities arising out of any accident, death, or any injury to the deployed personnel. The service provider shall assume all liabilities in connection with the performance of the services under the contract. Jurisdiction. The contract for the provisions of security screening machine operators shall be effective a period of 1 year to be indicated in the contract. Venue of action. All actions relating to the contract shall only be instituted before a complete court in the city of Manila. Signed, Coylan. To be signed by Coylan Florida. For Annex A, technical specifications, qualifications of security screening machine operators must be Filipino citizen, at least 21 years old, preferably not more than 50 years old upon hiring, preferably college graduate but should not be less than 2 years of college education, must be physically and mentally fit, able-bodied, not less than 5 feet 4 inches height for male and not less than 5 feet 2 inches for female.
Not less than
Preferably with at least 6 months of experience in security screening operations, must be of good moral character, reputations, and has no criminal and derogatory record, must have the capability to communicate in English and proficient in video dialects, must have basic knowledge of computer operation.
Sir, yun na lang po. May mga sumasalit po na employees na word. Kung personnel po yung gagamitin natin.
Personal din.
Group of personnel.
Sige.
Sa 7.2 may nakita po ako employee eh.
Ano yun na lang para kasi
Opo, i-clear, ano lang sir, i-finalize.
Sige ma'am, ayan ang, yun lang, ayan ang ano ma'am. Ay,
Require each
7.2, sir.
para wala.
sige.
Require all each.
Hindi na, parang hindi ko po alam kung may pang ibang nasalit.
Sige, may review ko na lang ma'am na. Basta itong ano
Gawin na lang pong personnel para po iisa
Oo.
lang yung ano natin.
Sa duration din po ng contract, number 8. Lagyan na lang po ng 4. Shall be effective for a period. Number 8 po. Shall be effective for a period of 1 year. Shall be effective for. So, ano yung sinabi mo? 7 ba yun?
7.2.
All
para lahat versus naman.
Kasi iba, hindi na po
Shall issue di ba? Shall issue to bill by the signature form for every securities in the Sir, 7.4. Doon tayo, sir, sa or any concerned government agencies. Di ba, the service provider yes, shall issue
Service provider, no?
di ba, the service provider in coordination with the PNRI or any concerned government agencies shall issue kung palitan natin, kung ayusin natin sila, 2 film badges dosimeter per month.
Oh.
Tapos, for every security screening machine operator for use during their operations. Di ba yun?
So, anong iyan natin?
shall issue,
Ito sa list na dito, no?
shall issue
2 film badges
Hindi po dyan. Wala yan, tama yan eh. Doon po sa yung sa third line, shall issue yan.
Yes, sir.
Shall issue to.
Diba? Sana tayo, shall issue, kung ito sir, 2 film badges dosimeter per month. Tapos, ito,
move na lang,
i-move siya
Ano,
dito.
shall issue to
Ito sir, itong
Oh.
price na to, 2 film badges dosimeter per month. I-move.
is
Yan, move na lang yan.
Badge dosimeter
Per month lang.
Yes sir, i-move dyan.
Wala na yung
Ang mga sir,
ano mo nga.
sige. Ito sige. Shall issue token badges.
Yan.
Ay, ang hirap nga niya i-move.
Sige.
Vertical na lang. 2 film badges dosimeter per month. Yan. I-move mo dun sa shall issue. Napunta sa
Mahirap i-move mo yung, mahirap i-gas yung,
Type lang siya namin. Ako na parang
mahirapan ako i-gas yung moves.
Oo, yun yung ano.
Yun na lang ba? Wala naman ako.
Sige, move na natin.
Sige, sa token ba?
yan.
This
2 film
vice
badges
chair and in the drafted procurement conference for the procurement of security screening machine operators or PPA for security clusters of Luzon, Visayas, Northern Mindanao, and Southern Mindanao be considered as complete and that the project be considered for procurement.
To every shall issue 2 film badges dosimeter per month. To every security screening machine.
Ang ganda na for use na, pagkata sa machine operator, for use during their operations. Pagkata, 2 film badges dosimeter per month. For every, after ng month, sir, may for every.
For every. Yan.
For every security screening operator for use during their operations.
To monitor cumulative radiation to the radiation.
Hanggang doon na lang sa,
To monitor
ano na lang na, wala nang for use.
Ano?
Di ba, per month, during their operations na lang. Di ba,
sige.
to monitor. Di ba, parang alam mo naman gagamitin yun.
During their operations to monitor
For use during their operation.
O wala
Ah,
nang
ano
for
lang, oh.
use, ma'am, pwede na rin ano.
Oh, parang
Okay lang sir, walang for
oh,
use.
oh, masyado
Per
titingnan
month,
na ano.
for every... Hindi sir, huwag nyo na
Ay.
delete. Na-delete ang gusto.
Ano.
Yung for use, yun lang word na for use, yun lang ang aalisin natin.
Ah.
Yung before during their ano,
Ano ko.
undo na lang. Isang damakmak mong undo yan. Okay.
Tapos isip.
Tanggalin natin yung for use. Then natin, the signature per month for every security scanning machine operator doing their operations. So, pag may word yan, wala na to yung
Wala.
word during their operations.
To monitor.
So,
Alisin mo yung period, Gilbert. During their operation.
During their operations, to monitor.
To monitor.
Yung nawala is
Ah,
to
to
monitor.
To monitor.
To monitor.
To monitor cumulative radiation due.
Monitor na lang po yan.
Isip.
Okay na po, application na. Okay na po. For publication.
So upon motion duly made and seconded, the terms of reference for the procurement of security screening machine operators for PPA, Port Security Clusters of Luzon, Visayas, Northern Mindanao, and Southern Mindanao is hereby considered complete. The TWG and the PAC Secretariat are hereby directed to proceed to the next process, which is the publication of the invitation. Any other matters?
Hindi ko nga alam. Yung sir,
Yes, ma'am.
yung, di ba ang
Si Sir Eric.
Gagawin nila sir yung ano na, big dogs.